Hi, this is Mike, president of Lincoln Landscaping, and 2014 is probably going to be known as the worst winter for replacing shrubbery in the history of landscaping. The severe winter has severely crippled plants and trees. We're going to be doing a rhododendron replacement to screen out that beautiful pond that you see in the background. And this is a particularly sensitive area to the client because of the pond, because of the electric box, and it's where all the people that are walking their pets pass right by, and he wants a little additional screening and privacy. So we're going to show you how we plant shrubbery and not plant it too deep. We're going to be using a compost mix that rhododendron love. And we'll have a successful planting. Lincoln Landscaping, the natural choice. I have my Cracker Jack men digging a nice shallow hole, nice and wide, not too deep for the plant to settle. And a beautiful rhododendron that's ready to just be planted in this native setting. We're back filling the rhododendron with some nice compost and topsoil, making sure that we don't put any soil on top of that ball. And we're just making a little kind of moat around the plant to catch the water on that steep little hillside there. This is the proper way to plant a shrub. 90% of the shrubs are planted too deep by landscapers, and they're dead within a year or two. The project's coming along so nice. And we can just see that tantalizing view of the pond behind the planting area. But yet, you cannot see into this house that incidentally was designed by Eleanor Patterson, a student of Frank Lloyd Wright. Very happy with how things are going so far. And this leafy compost mix, fungal-dominated compost, is the key to these rhododendrons thriving. One more thing, the sack that this burlap is actually a polyester sack, and if an inexperienced person did not take that off completely, that rhododendron within a year or two would really struggle. 25 years ago, there's thousands of rhododendrons planted on this property, and the planting crew did not take off those polyester sacks, and we've had a history of continuing problems due to that exact issue. There must be 5,000 rhododendron on this property. We're using a mycorrhiza treatment on the roots to further protect and ensure that they grow well. Screen is coming along very nicely. We're working our way up to the edge of the pond, and there's a very large maple there that is suffocating the actual rhododendron roots with its massive outcrop of top growth weeds. Maples grow very shallow surface roots, where your oaks grow straight down and there's a very deep root. Maples again are shallow, and it's tough to grow other plants and lawn under a maple tree. But we're naturalizing the area, and it's doing pretty well.
que eso es lo que más grande se ve, más parece a ver.
We're taking that polyester sack right off as we speak. Again, the rhododendron are very shallow-rooted plants. You put any kind of soil on top of that and they're toast. So, they're doing a very professional job. We also plant the rhodies on a slight angle so that you're seeing the top of the leaves rather than the side branches, which at times can be very leggy on these rhododendron maximum or native rhodie. Just trying to get that angle right. That's much better, guys. Perfect. Perfecto. The hedge is coming. The informal hedge is coming along quite nicely. One last tip, my workers carefully taking any tags off the plants. Very unprofessional, leave those tags on. If you see a planting and there's all paper and tags left on there, you know that the company is not training their workers in the proper way of planting. We're on our last plant. We put our nice compost in the bottom of the hole. One last time, they're removing the polyester sack. And we'll put some pine straw down. It's a very loose pine straw. It's a very native, natural mulch. It's actually pine needles from red pine trees that grow in North Carolina. These rhododendrons are like a jigsaw puzzle. Just piecing in the holes. It's just a miracle what our higher power does for us naturally in the woods. We'll take one more picture with the mulching, and I hope we've shown you the proper procedures for planting native rhododendron, which are called rhodie maximum. The mycorrhiza, the liquid itself, has to actually touch roots for it to work, and we don't know enough about mycorrhiza yet, but it's a tremendous piece of biology. It's a snot kind of a substance that covers the roots of plants. Once it's in place, it pulls sugars and carbs, cakes and cookies from the soil to feed the plant, to give it protection against predators, pretty much making the root invisible to soil-feeding bad nematodes. It's just another miracle of nature. We're trying to compact in the soil, but not to the point of destroying the biology of the soil. Everything's a big balancing act in landscaping. We're just putting the final touches down. The very natural pine straw, as you can see. Just a little finishing touch that'll hold the moisture in. It actually comes in bales and is shipped up from North Carolina. Here comes Rodolfo with a few bales now. And it's the most natural of all the mulches. Never a dull moment, but there is no more pine straw in the state of New Jersey. We have 15 bales and we have 3 acres here that we just are doing a few edges to finish off plantings. Trucking is the issue. The truckers from North Carolina are beginning to truck produce, and we just can't get this mulch up into the New Jersey, New York area. So we'll make do with what we have. Lincoln Landscaping, the natural choice. One last little footnote in the rhododendron story. This property was designed by a gentleman named James Rose, who was around in the 60s and 70s, long since gone. He did a lot of these yards, these Eleanor Patterson designs, in a very Asian style, using a lot of hemlock, a lot of native rhododendron, rip-rap, which is native rocks placed side by side. And it is a monoculture. There's a Jim Rose Society that is prevalent today, and takes tours of all the Jim Rose properties in the area. I hope we brought you a nice feature today. Lincoln Landscaping, the natural choice.